Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mogi Beth. For those of y'all who are new here, I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, which means I sell women's clothing online for a living. And if you're new to the Poshmark app, you can download it and use my code MOGIBETH for $10 off your first purchase. It's a great way to find items to wear. Like I found this Saloni top I'm obsessed with, but it's also a great way to make money. And that's what we're talking about today, is how much I made in sales within my reselling business in the month of April. Okay, I need a drink of coffee before we get into this. Oh, okay. I have been doing these videos for the past 2 months, so if you haven't checked out last month's video, I'll pop it up on the screen. I think it's a really great way to see the peaks and valleys of a reseller's career over time. It's not just a constant upward trajectory. I wish it was, but there are always unforeseen circumstances. And this pandemic was definitely one for us and for a lot of people. So I also do want to make note that if you have been following along on my reselling journey, either here on Instagram, you know I've been selling mystery boxes this month, and these numbers aren't going to include those sales, mainly because we sold those at cost. So we didn't really make any money on them. They're basically just something that we did to offload some inventory for us, but also to help other people out in the community who needed inventory during this time when it's really hard to get good affordable inventory. So for those of y'all asking if I'm going to do more in the future, I'm not sure. Probably in a very different way, and so I wouldn't plan on it anytime soon. And if you want my full thoughts on why that is, head over to my Instagram, and I actually did a post talking about my thoughts on mystery boxes. And I'm actually really grateful for the opportunity to have been able to help a lot of resellers. It just gave me a lot of purpose and meaning. But anyways, I have a whole other list of thoughts that I shared over there. So, okay, so when we're talking about peaks and valleys within a reseller's career, this has been a valley for us. April was a valley for us. I'm gonna pop up this graph from Google Trends that it just shows kind of search volume and interest in a word over time. And I looked for the word Poshmark, and you can see that it was actually doing really well in January and February. And February was our highest sales month ever. And if you're interested in that, I also have that video. That's when I started doing these videos, which is kind of funny. So it was doing really well, and then it just plummeted. Like the interest in Poshmark has really fallen off ever since mid-March when this pandemic has hit. And now it's actually starting to recover. And actually our first few days of May have been really good. So I'm hopeful about May. But April was not easy for us, and it was our worst sales month since I started making these videos. And we'll get into that. But I am gonna pop up another graph just showing our April sales month. I did this last month, I thought it was helpful. Our sales were actually pretty steady and consistent over time. We had a few really great days. We actually had a couple days with no sales whatsoever, which you can see in that graph. So we had some, it was just kind of felt like a roller coaster at times, but it was actually fairly consistent. There's no like real trend of, you know, it maybe dipping a little bit in the middle, but I am hopeful for May just because I think the end of April was all right. Like the last week we didn't have any no sales days, and we did all right. Okay, let's talk about what y'all are here for. Let's get to brass tacks. Let's talk about numbers. Our total sales for the month of April was $7,696.28. That is $926.43 less than last month. So about $1,000 less than last month, which is pretty significant when you're only having this amount of sales. This was broken down between Poshmark, eBay, and Tradesy. I had no sales on Mercari in April, and that's 100% my fault. Mercari I hear is doing really well, and I'm gonna talk about Mercari later on. My Poshmark sales were $5,609. My eBay sales were $1,304. And then my Tradesy sales were $783.28. So Tradesy was actually pretty quiet. It definitely fell off this month, and I think it's because it is primarily East Coast platform. A lot of people in New York use Tradesy, and I think they've been really obviously hit really hard, but they I think are starting to recover, so that's good. This sales number is actually a really big bummer because we listed a substantial amount more this month than any other month. We listed in total 284 items, which is 62 items higher than March, you know, short of the goal I set for 400. I'm still pretty happy with that. I think it would have been nice if we got to the around 300 number, but you know, 284 better than anything we've ever done. And so I've got to give myself a pat on the back for that. We actually had a decent amount of sales as well. We had 165 sales, which is actually 6 more than we had in March. However, if you're doing the math in your head, that means my average sales price was much less, and you are correct. It's been the lowest this month than it has in a long time. And in fact, our average sales price for April was $46.64. And just to give you some comparison, March was $54.23, February was $50.02, and then January was $55.58. So, you know, I can speculate as to why that is. One of my, after looking into the actual sales a little bit, one thing that I realized is that a lot of the items I sold was for my closet clear out, and those were typically lower priced items. But whatever the case may be, our average sales price was much, much lower, which resulted in a lower overall sales number. And however, there was another number that was down, which is a good thing and surprising thing for me. Our average days listed, so all the items that I sold, the average number of days that it was listed was 87. And I always look also at the median number because I feel like that's actually even a better indicator of how long on average these items are listed. And that was 27. I like really looked at that a million times to make sure that was right, because that's really low for us. And so I think like that also makes me think maybe the closet clear out had something to do with it. So, you know, if you need some motivation to go clean out your closet and get stuff listed over there, it has been selling for me. The overall gist of these numbers is that my overall sales were down significantly, and that's really mainly because my average sales price was down. It had nothing really to do with how many items we sold. But the pros were we listed a lot more, and our average listing days was down as well. So that's good. But I'm gonna ask you here, I'm gonna probably ask you later too, did you have similar results? Did you see that April was slower than March, or did you have a better April than March? Just let me know in the comments down below why you think that might be. I'm still, you know, obviously the pandemic is affecting it somewhat, but I'm still trying to kind of like decipher and understand what these numbers mean for us moving forward. And it might just be that I can't really read much into it because this is such a unique circumstance, but I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are. I do have some other information that I wanted to share with y'all that I thought might be useful. I wanted to go over the 3 brands that I sold the most of this month, and then also I wanted to go over my 3 worst sales, my 3 best sales. I think this information is kind of useful at times. Okay, so the 3 brands that I sold the most of this month were Anthropologie, Madewell, and Lululemon. And this is actually how I found out the closet clear out when I was looking through my sales. All the Lululemon that I sold, or at least almost all of it, is from my own closet, and so I priced it pretty low. I sold 12 Anthropologie pieces for an average sales price of $33, which is pretty low for me. I mean, if you look at videos past. And I sold 12 Madewell pieces for an average sales price of $30.27, which is also somewhat low. And a lot of those were from my own personal wardrobe. And then I sold 5 Lululemon pieces with an average sales price of $19.40, which is really low for Lululemon. And again, all of these were from my personal closet. So I don't mind these sale prices if my cost of goods is 0. And when they come from my personal closet, I do account for a $0 cost of goods. So, you know, I'll take a $33 sale. It's 100 if it's 100% profit all day, every day. You know what I mean? It's when I start to pay for items that I become much more selective and really want to see a higher average sales price so that I can account for some kind of, you know, comfortable profit margin. So, you know, it is what it is, and I'm not mad at that. But now I want to go over the 3 best and 3 worst sales from April. And if you guys like this kind of content, I actually cover just a snapshot of what sold a weekend, I think the last weekend of April, and I did that last week, so I'll link that up on the screen here in case you're interested. That goes into more depth into kind of what was selling at the time and what is selling kind of right now as well. Okay, so my 3 best sales. Number 1 was this Bronx and Bonko dress. This is such a Bolo brand. If you guys don't know this brand, definitely look it up. It's fabulous brand, gorgeous dresses. And my friend Emily Munn really likes this brand as well, so it's kind of got a soft place in my heart. This dress had tons of interest. It was new at tags, and it sold only after 16 days of being listed. I had it listed for $350, and I went back and forth with someone and landed and sold it for $210. $210 gave me a good amount of profit, and it allowed me to give a buyer a good deal. So I was really, really happy with that sale. Number 2 was a dress that literally sold within a day. A fabulous sale. This is a brand that I'm definitely a Bolo brand, and definitely one I'm going to pay more attention to in the future. And it's a Jenny Yu Mila dress in this floral soft blue print. This is oftentimes a bridesmaid brand, but it can also be worn for basically any kind of formal event. It sold again within one day. I had it listed for $175 and it sold for $125. So very, very happy with that sale. And then my last best sale was this new at tag Vince 100% silk dress. I have sold 2 100% silk Vince dresses before, and they both have performed really well. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if in case you ever want to source Vince silk dresses in the future. This one sold within 4 days, and I had it listed for $185 and received an offer for $140, which I accepted over on Poshmark. So yeah, those were 3 really great sales and 3 ones I was really happy with, and they were all dresses. So, you know, even though pandemic times you think, oh, people are only wearing sweatpants, apparently people are also shopping for dresses, so it's not a bad deal. Okay, my 3 worst sales, and when I say worst, I'm grateful for these sales. If you were one of last month, someone who purchased one of the worst sales commented on my YouTube video, so shout out to that person, because I'm grateful for you. Thank you. And if you're one of these people, I'm so grateful for you. In some ways, I actually do more of a happy dance when my older items sell, just because I've been looking at them for so long. But okay, number 1, I've had for 598 days. So you can understand why I might be very happy that it would sell, and I'm grateful that it sold. So if you were the buyer, thank you. There are these Madewell drawstring camo shorts. Yeah, when I sourced these, I was like, yes, these are gonna sell for so much money. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was a long time ago when Madewell was super, super hot, and they didn't. So now they have sold. I mean, gosh, if I could have told myself then that this would be the outcome for these shorts, I would have been shocked. But anyway, they sold for $12 with discounted shipping after 598 days. So definitely not, you know, something that I am super excited about. I did relist them, so it's not like I didn't take any recourse, but it is what it is. And I think that just kind of goes to show there's an older style Madewell. You know, Madewell, you have to be more selective with now. It just is what it is. But I think they're cute. I think they're really cute. So anyway, the second worst sale was this pair of vintage lace-up Western boots. They took 515 days to sell. Lace-up Western boots actually can garner a really good price point if you source certain brands. Ariat, I've talked about before, and a Bolo shoe brand list is a brand that comes to mind. Those Western lace-up boots do really well, or at least for me. Since I'm not a vintage seller, I can't really just source strictly on style. I do have to also think about brand. So yeah, these took a while to sell, and they sold for $14 with discounted shipping. So I wouldn't pick these up again. Okay, and then the last worst sale was this Anthropologie Saturday Sunday terry dress. I was so happy when this sold. I was so excited. It took 401 days to sell, and I think it sold on Poshmark for $15. So this is a good example of a type of item I was so excited to find 401 days ago that I would no longer pick up from Anthropologie anymore. Saturday Sunday is a brand I kind of steer clear of. It's just more saturated on Poshmark. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, I actually like this dress a lot, but from a reseller perspective, it's just really saturated. So yeah, I personally wouldn't recommend that you pick up items like this, but you know, it sold for $15. do what you want with that information. All right, so my goals for this month, which is kind of what I want to end on. I'm really excited for May, actually, even though April was pretty rough. I'm excited because mystery boxes were really hard this month. They took a lot of our time, and so now I'm done with that project. I can move on. I'm excited to really grow and be laser focused on my business and continue to provide content for y'all. It's really exciting how much we're growing. But something that I think really hurt our sales this month is that we really fell behind on cross-listing. So I want to get everything cross-listed and really back up to date, because those listings that I talked about, the however many listings we made this month, that's really just Poshmark. A lot of those never even made it over to eBay and Tradesy, which I think definitely hurt our sales over there. So I want to make sure that these are all up to date every single time we list. And one of my goals is to cross-list everything over to Mercari, and hopefully maybe I will have a video on that in the future and my results with that. But I've heard a lot of good things about Mercari, and it's a really interesting reseller platform to me. I think shooting for 300 listings is pretty realistic. So that's kind of what I'm aiming at, but I would really also like to have 900 active listings over on Poshmark. So that's kind of my stretch goal, if you will, because that would take a lot more than 300 listings just because to keep up with how much we're selling. So, you know, we'll see, but 300, I think if I ended up there, I would be happy with it. But it still is really hard to make projections and goals when it comes to sales right now, so I'm not really making any goals in terms of that. I am hopeful, I am optimistic, but I'm just gonna continue to still focus on the process, on the things that we do have within our control, just because how much people are buying or not buying is not really, you know, up to me. It's up to a lot of million factors right now. So let me know in the comments down below. Check in with me. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about May? Are you hopeful? Are you cautious? Are you demoralized? Which I could totally understand. Again, we had several no sales days in April, so I've been there. But I'm actually just really curious about how you're doing in general. So just let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I'm excited to do this video at the end of May. Hopefully next month I'll have better news. But you know, we're just gonna keep on keeping on, keep our chins up, focus on what we do have control over, and move forward as we always do. All right, well, I will see y'all in the next one. Thanks so much for stopping by. Like and subscribe. Okay, love y'all, bye. Y'all, click one of these videos. Look at this cool outro screen we created. Say hi.